Hey guys, this is Hiram and you're listening to Recap Rewind.
MB, did you hear that?
What was that?
So weird.
I don't know. Just do the intro.
What is up, everybody? This is Recap Rewind. I'm JLAG and I'm here with
NB.
And this episode is recapping and reviewing Riverdale Season 2, Chapter 31, A Night to Remember. This is episode 18 of the season.
It was a night to remember. It really was. Guys, don't forget, make sure you stay tuned to the end of the episode because we're going to recap our favorite moments, our best lines, our LVPs, our MVPs. So be sure to stick around for that.
And we have some amazing announcements to give you guys, so make sure you stick around for that as well. And also, of course, for continual listeners and our brand new ones, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy the podcast, girls and boys. I just want to sing now. I just want to sing the entire time now. Like, it's so exciting.
Sure. What do you think of the episode?
I thought it was great. I thought it was amazing, actually.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
What they accomplished in this episode was like beyond
my wildest dreams.
Yeah, they did a really amazing job. I'm not the biggest fan of musicals, but I have to say, like, I was super impressed by all of their like performances.
Yeah,
the cinematography, the music, like the choices that they chose for the songs, like I was blown away. I was like, this is insane.
It was basically like an hour-long version of La La Land.
It was. I mean, La La Land was a little like, it was happier. I feel like not happier, but like it was prettier. This was a little darker.
Right.
Which I didn't mind, but like it looked really good.
It was just like musical number.
And I was scared that like they were going to be singing the whole time. And that's not the case. They kind of were, there was like scenes in the middle. But I think I realized like what I don't like about musicals. And I think it's like when they're talking, like especially it's like a serious conversation, like the Betty and Veronica moment. And like she's like, don't worry, like girl. Sing. She's like, no, I'm not like your friend. She's like, but I think you are. I'm like, but why are you singing that part? Like, just finish your moment and then you can sing.
Oh my god!
Like I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I feel like we're going too deep into it.
I'm just saying, I appreciated it. It was very well done. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So it shows Kevin asking Jughead to be the videographer for the whole episode, right?
Whole and he's sort of capturing the moments of the play with his camcorder. What did you think of that whole like style?
I was gonna ask you the same thing, but I thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was really interesting taking that angle. I thought it was. It made me almost question why Jughead isn't constantly holding the camera.
I'm like, that should be his job. Like, that instead of just like typing away.
Yeah, like he should be a super sleuth all the time.
Because he's just very lurky. Anyway, right? Yeah, exactly.
So,
I kind of liked it in the beginning. Like in the first like maybe 20, I really, really liked it.
Right.
And then I felt like it kind of went on for too long at the end.
I can see that, yeah.
Like I was like, okay, but why are we using this like third like kind of camera now? Like it's kind of still random, but whatever, like whatever.
And I think that's the reason why we don't have him holding a camera, because I think it gets annoying after a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's asked to be the videographer, and he's like, of course, because I can't sing and whatever. He doesn't say that, but yeah, he can't sing. Like actually, he can't sing, so that's probably why he becomes a videographer. It all makes sense though, which is perfect. And then he was like, Kevin's super excited. And then we have our first number and everyone starts off singing. So it's like,
yeah, it's like everyone getting ready for their day, basically.
Right. And then Cheryl getting ready. Then Tony's like, yes, I'm like a part of the Vixens now. And then it cuts to Archie and Fred. And we finally have like a non-singing moment. And Fred is like, hey, do you want to ride to school? And Archie...
At first I was like, but why Archie? Like, why are you being so sketch? And then I'm like, oh yeah, I hit the car. I'm like, I forgot about that. It's been like 3 weeks.
Well, my question was like, how did he not tell him about the car? Like, isn't it parked up front the entire time? Like, how did Fred, like, forget like Archie not telling him? How did Fred not realize
see this
that?
like shiny blue car outside?
He's so like, I don't know. I feel like Fred is like really oblivious to life, but if he's really like Archie's dad, then it makes sense. So then it cuts to everybody singing and coming into the auditorium. Kevin has like this is like his only time that he gets to sing. He's like, this is amazing. And like that's the last
time and Ethel.
The last time we hear both of them singing. But they have really, really good voices.
They do.
And then and then at the very end, we have Fangs coming into the circle, which was kind of random, but I wasn't mad at it.
I like that moment. It was really cute.
He's like,
did it remind you of like Glee times? Them coming down like the auditorium and stuff?
A tiny bit, yeah. I think that it's really reminiscent of Glee, but like they definitely like did it over the top for this this show for sure. So everybody gets cast. So Archie is like, I'm Tommy Ross. Betty's like, I'm the good girl, Sue Snell. Veronica is like, I'm the mean girl, Chris. And then Cheryl's like, I'm Carrie White. And then the entire time, Ethel is like giving these like dirty ass looks.
So sketch.
They make her out to be
make her
way
so
more
sketch.
sketchy.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I don't know, maybe I'm just like looking at the ceiling, but like they make her like the camera zooms in on her face, and she's like so angry, but she's not. And then of course, Alice can't pass up an opportunity to be on stage, so she like skirts in, and she's like, I'm playing the mom, and Betty's like, what are you doing?
She's like, Mom, what the hell?
And she's like, it makes sense, and also like I'm gonna like bond with you, so it's cute. And then we get a final edition. We get Chuck coming back into the game. The return of
Chuck.
What did you think of? Sorry,
honestly, like I love that moment. I just love that moment when they were introing everyone, because all these randos who like we thought kind of dipped from the show were coming back.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen these characters all together in one like scene. So it was just an interesting dynamic to even like watch them all together, like between Fangs, Veronica, like Chuck, but yeah, like seeing Chuck come back, I was like, oh, there must be a reason behind this for sure. Especially more than just like him reforming to be a good guy. There has to be like a second like tier motive.
I do think the second tier motive is the fact that he's like a good dancer.
Yeah, that one for sure.
We saw damn moves with him and Josie, so like it was really exciting to see him do that. But I don't know, like I don't really know what the reason why he
and like, that was kind of lacking, like there was that whole, and we've talked about this before too, like there is that whole Chuck and Josie storyline, but like they don't even have a moment whatsoever in this episode ever.
Never. Yeah,
like
it's
nothing.
Really weird. I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. Because also I forgot that Veronica and him have like bad blood, but he plays her boyfriend.
I don't think they have bad blood after this episode. Let me just tell you.
It ain't.
Let me just tell you. It didn't look like bad blood to me.
Oh, good. Okay, so anyway. So Chuck comes in, he's super excited, and then it kind of cuts to him doing this like reality, like Jersey Shore style reality TV interview.
Yeah.
What did you think of those cut-ins? So I know we talked about Jughead being like the videographer, but what did you think of
I think those are the ones that annoyed me, to be honest, because it took me out of like what was all happening. But whatever, like I didn't mind it.
It's so unfamiliar to us in this world on Riverdale, so I didn't really understand like what they were doing with it. But then I guess it made sense because
I'm all for them trying
something different.
Exactly,
yeah,
I'm all for them like going like ham off this episode and like just trying all these different styles.
They're like,
and like
musical,
whatever.
Yeah,
like the first 10 minutes, I remember being like, this is too much though. Like there was so many different things like coming at me, and I was like, whoa, like they're turning up right now. But relax. Whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, so he kind of says like, I'm just here to kind of redeem myself. I need to come back as a good guy, whatever, but I'm playing the bad boy. But we'll see how it goes. And then it cuts to Jughead asking Archie like on camera as well, like, oh, how do you feel about the casting? How do you feel about Veronica right now? And Archie's like, well, everything's fine. And Betty's like, no, but she's sketchy. She lied to you and she sucks. And then Archie's kind of just sitting there being like, okay, fine.
I love how he was like, he's such an idiot, because he was like, hey, Betty, like, isn't it kind of weird that we're like playing boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, she's like, bro, like, get over it, bro.
She's like,
we're not together.
Done that. We like made out like one time. It's not a big deal.
But do you think it's a big deal? Like, do you think there's still something there?
You know what? No, I don't think that they played to that. Like, I don't think the directors played to it. The writers played to it. And also I just don't see it anymore because like, well, for one, we see VARCHIE like making out like quite often. So like, I just feel like there is a divide now between Betty and Archie.
That storyline, yeah.
But that being said, I do feel like there is a lot that's unsaid, but I feel like that's the relationship. There's a lot of unspoken connection that Betty and Archie have, right? Like, it's always been the relationship that like, you know, she's had this, you know, lovelorn relationship with him, and now he's you know, with somebody else, so it doesn't really matter,
right?
So then it cuts to Cheryl randomly like practicing, and then she breaks out into song, and everyone's like, why did you do that? But you're still like really good at it. And then she's like, thank you.
She literally changed her dress. Did you notice that? Like she like spun and like she was in like the Carrie dress.
Yeah, she's like, here I am. I honestly want to sing the entire time, like the entire recap. This is going to be a recap rewind musical episode. So she sings, and that was really good. Obviously, you know, Madeline Petch has
an amazing voice. Yeah,
they
like,
all have amazing voices.
But yeah, hers was like
she has
really
a fantastic voice.
Yeah.
And as she's like getting up to leave, a sandbag like falls like right in front,
like right next to her. Yeah.
And then it cuts to Ethel's face, obviously.
Yeah.
They're
making her look so sketch. She's like, I didn't do that. Sketchy. I swear that wasn't me.
That wasn't me at all. I don't know what's happening. And then it cuts to like the Riverdale like title card, and then it cuts to Kevin getting recorded by Jughead, and he's like, I got kind of scared and sketched out about what happened with Cheryl, but I also got this letter in my locker the next day, and it's basically saying you better recast or else someone's gonna, or you know,
someone's gonna die. Oh, Cheryl's gonna die. Yeah. And
so
like at this point, like, do you believe the letter? Like, do you think that it's actually like the Black Hood, or like it's a student?
At this moment, I thought it was. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like they were trying to push this idea that it was Ethel the entire time. So in this moment, and I think even when we watched the promo, I still kind of believed, because here's us going all the way back to like the mid-season finale when we found the Black Hood and the Black Hood's dead or whatever. I still feel, and we both agreed, that the Black Hood is still out there. So when they got the first letter, while it doesn't make sense why he would want Cheryl to be recast, I don't know why they're like, I did believe it. I did believe that like someone was coming for her. You know what I mean?
Like someone real, like the Black Hood.
Someone for real. How about you?
I don't know. I wasn't sure what to make of it, and it's not. Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about it at the end.
Yeah, we can talk about more at the end.
Because it changed. Because it really changed for me along the way too. Like even after, I kind of focus on Midge a lot. So like it kind of changed for me throughout the episode. But yeah, let's talk about it after.
So then it cuts to Betty, and she starts singing to Archie, saying like, you know, something, you know, I want us to be. So this is their big number between Betty singing to Archie, and then Veronica singing with
This was
Chuck.
Such a good moment, yeah.
And it was like this half and half screen where she's kind of like the blue light, and Veronica's this like red orangey light. So they're kind of like, she's like, I want to be a good girl, and we should love Carrie. And then Veronica's like,
I'm a badass bitch, okay?
Yeah. And they have this like mini dance off where they're like having this like opposite worlds, and I loved living Archie for in this the moment. Entire moment. His little his
dance, like
his little grease snaps that he was doing,
and like his face, he just looked so happy, like
so into it,
but kind of nervous too. Like he was just so cute.
And Chuck was like giving me all the hit moves, like
God,
the right hit moves. I was like, I was loving the entire entire sequence. I was like feeling it. I can't wait to watch it again. Just this episode, just that part. But it was really good. And then it cuts to VARCHIE, and they're making out in the hallway, and of course, and Archie asks Veronica, can you do something for me? Can I park the car at the Pembroke? And she was like, why would you want to do that? And he was like, well, I haven't really told my dad about it, so he's gonna kill me if he finds out. So she's like, it's fine, okay, like it's not a big deal. And then it cuts to obviously the Pembroke, and Hermione and Hiram are strategizing, and they're like sitting at the table like all cold and like, you know, unfeeling.
Yeah. And I think Hermione's a little worried about like Fred kind of having a chance to win this election.
Right.
She's like, oh my God, but like whatever, he might win. And Hiram's like, no, like he's not gonna win. He has really nobody.
Yeah.
Mary dipped again. She's like gone again. Like
she's
she doesn't stay for more than 2 days. Yeah.
I'm gone. But like my question was like, I want to see a little bit of, you know, like Hermione's coming for Fred, right? Like it's Fred versus Hermione, aka like.
Do you feel like you were missing
Hiram.
Hermione a little bit in this episode?
I was.
Yeah,
I think I was
too.
really feeling. I was wondering why she wasn't feeling some more type of way.
And like it's
Fred.
funny because like there were so many like shout outs to her. Like even the playbill was like, it had like her name in the back, and I'm like, but where is she though? Like why is all this happening? And like she's not really involved in all of this. Yeah, she's there with Hiram, but like still, again, Hiram's like the one sort of voicing the drama and like like being the voice of reason. Like she was kind of forgotten a little bit, but
I guess they're focusing more on the fact that Hiram is kind of like the one who's going against Fred.
But we ended
like
off with like
situation, right?
Totally, but like we ended off with like her being a boss ass bitch, like on the podium, like giving this great ass speech. So like, where's that woman? Like, why is she so quiet all of a sudden?
I don't know. But anyway, Hiram ends up saying like we need to keep Archie separate from Fred. Like that's the best way to like isolate them and make him like weaker or whatever. So Hiram's like going all in.
Yeah, he went in hard. Yeah.
And so then it cuts to Betty and Jughead, and of course they're doing like their mini sleuthing in between like takes or whatever, and they check the note and they're like, this might not even be a real note. Like we know that the
like Kevin and Juggy were like freaking out, and Betty's like, guys, this is not real. Like come on. Yeah, she's like real talk. This is bullshit.
So she reads it, and then he was like, whoever did this, he might have done. And then she was like, maybe it's not a he. And then of course
she booked it.
But then, of course, it cuts to like Ethel, who we've been thinking of this whole time.
Yeah, who's like snacking away at the food bar.
She's like, "There's no more trail mix." Like it was so annoying.
Betty's like, "Well, maybe like you shouldn't eat it
because you're the Black Hood." Like I don't know. She was just being weird.
She's like, "What are you doing here?"
So then she does her like super sleuth.
That's the thing, though. I felt like they really tried to like make her look sketch to the point where I was like, "Okay, it can't be her." Like they're making us like think. You know what I mean? Like it's too easy.
Yeah, for sure. And so at one point in time, I thought Ethel was gonna die. So I like that's how far I went with like her not being the Black Hood at all.
Yeah.
So anyway, so in this moment,
So Betty does accuse her though. Betty's like pretty hard on her. She's like, you would have the motive to do it. And Ethel's like, well, I am the real Carrie. Like I've been living Carrie my whole life. I was like, oh my god, girl, that's so sad.
Like, I was literally born for this role. I was like, damn, that's hard.
But then Betty's like, see, and she's like, no, Betty, I would never hurt anyone intentionally, like for a dumbass role. Like, no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but in that moment, I also didn't believe her.
No, I didn't believe her either. I was like, yo, she's a good actress though.
So then it cuts to Pop's diner, and we have our phallus moment. But what did you think of this phallus moment? So let's quickly talk about it really quickly.
Right.
And then
so
we can
we're at Pops. I'm like already excited because I know what's gonna happen. Like it's gonna be an FP and Alice scene, and Alice like walks in. She's so like excited.
Yes.
And she's like, "Hey there, handsome." I'm like, "Oh my god, she's calling FP." Like what?
Like, hey.
Like so they hooked up. Like it happened. And then he like turns around, and I'm like, "Oh, here we go." Drama queen, freaking wiping the counters. He's not even happy to see her, and she's all like, "What?" And she's like, "Hey, like I'm gonna be in a play." But she's kind of like picking up on his like weird cues too. And she's like, but I'm going to be in a play. Like, do you want to come like watch?
She's like, come through?
And what does he say? He's like, I don't know.
No, I'm busy. Yeah, I'm like working or whatever.
And like, oh my God, like the pain that you see in her face.
She got disappointed.
She's like, all this time. She's like, we tell our kids not to like make the same mistakes. But clearly we are. Like we are. I'm like, damn. And then she dipped. But like... I don't know. Like I like every good love story, you need that like tension, that like back and forth, that like somebody messes up and then they have to like regain their trust. Like you need that, obviously, that push and that pull. But I was like, FP, you're an idiot. Like,
so in this moment though, where are you seeing this go? Like phallus' situation.
I don't know, and like I don't know what his reasoning was. Like, what are you busy with? Like last week you were down to screw her. Like, what happened? Like, give me something a bit more.
I mean, I think we're trying to get this like human story out of FP, which is basically like he's afraid. He's a boy, like he's a child. You know what I mean? He's irresponsible. He can't take care of anybody but himself. Like he's working at Pop's diner. He's probably feeling intimidating. Phallus is like a boss, or Alice is like a boss ass. Like
she is.
Maybe he feels intimidated by her.
100%. But I think I just wish I wanted a bit more Phallus, like more moments together, and then he like pulls away. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So we can kind of understand why it's happening.
It was like so fast, and like we didn't really get a scene. We just got like a door closing on our face. So like it just went to this. So I was like, I could have more. Yeah, like can you guys give me more, please?
Yeah, seriously, I love the fact that everybody, including us, wants to see more of Phallus than the kids at all. Like kid drama, you can be on a pause for an entire episode because I just want to watch Phallus. So then it cuts to the auditorium, and then Josie and Cheryl have a moment. And so Josie, I guess, plays Cheryl's best friend Carrie's best friend in the musical. Yeah. So she has to sing like a friendship song essentially. But Josie's so scared of her that she won't even look at her in the eye.
Literally looks like she's like she's gonna pee her pants. Like she looked so scared. Like it wasn't a creeped out like ew kind of thing. It was like, oh my god, like she's gonna kill me. Like it was like that.
Out of my face. Yeah. It was like she was terrified. So then during that whole moment, like Josie's trying to sing, she still sounds like Beyonce even when she's scared. And
Josie had her moment though, Like she was living for this episode finally.
She did. And then like it finally made sense why Josie was like singing for no reason. Yeah. So
where were the Pussycats? They weren't even in this episode.
They didn't even make
like the ones that sing are not even in the singing episode. That's some bullshit.
I don't get it. I don't know. They're gone, Like they're basically like hashtag where are the Pussycats? Like we have to find that out. Ask the writers. So Cheryl obviously she gets everybody to stop. She's like, no, I can't do this. Yeah. And then she was like, Josie, what's wrong? She talks to her and she says, listen, I know that I'm crazy. I know that I did this wrong. I know this and this. Yeah. But, I just want to apologize to you because I just care about you.
I was in a really messed up place. Like I was in a really broken place. So like whatever I was doing, like I didn't know, or like, I'm sorry. Like it was she had such a good line. Right. And Josie is like, don't worry. Like it just worked out. It was like magical.
And then they end up singing together.
They ended up singing and then it was good.
She's like, yes.
Like, guys, everyone dealt with their problems through song.
Via song, yeah.
And it was like magic at the end. Like, that was it.
I mean, the real question was that I kept asking myself in these moments, and because it does happen, you said, it happens again with Veronica and Betty, is like, it really isn't that easy to like figure out everybody's shit like through a song. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, like,
in
guys,
real life.
Yeah.
But,
exactly.
I mean, I guess it's a musical, so what do you got to do? So anyway, they sing, they have their little duet moment, they're happy, and they hug at the very end, and like everyone's happy again. And like Josie actually like got emotional. She was like, oh my god, I miss you, girl.
Yeah. Or she just looks scared again. I feel like she has a perma scared face.
Well, she's probably like now gonna apologize, being like, sorry, I didn't help you out of that like crazy
okay, I wanted to ask you this. I really want to ask you this. Do you think there's a potential love triangle there? Like between Tony, her, and Cheryl?
Nah, and I wouldn't want to see that. I just feel like it's not necessary.
Not that because I don't think I want to see it, but I almost felt like that's what they were getting to. Like their looks were so long. I was like, why are we still in this scene right now?
Forlorn looks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm curious to see. Like, I'm curious to hear what our fans have to say about that scene, because I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to like get these like romantic vibes right now, or like just like, no, we're cool, like we're good, like we're good. Girls again, good, like boo, it's done. Yeah, like I wasn't sure because it was long.
Yeah, sound off in the comments, guys, at recap_rewind. Yeah. So just let us know what you guys think. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would see that. But we cut to the Pembroke now, and we get I just had to say it because it's like the Spanish moment again.
Oh yeah.
The Spanglish moment, and it's like, Veronica, mija, what is the car doing up in here?
Yeah. I'm like, just choose one. just choose one.
Just say Veronica. That's all you need to say. Or mija. So he like has to say it, and then she was like, oh, the car's here because like Fred doesn't know, and he's like, okay, cool, that's not a problem, whatever. And then he says another Spanish word. I didn't catch it properly.
What did he say? I didn't catch it either.
Cheers, mi ama. I don't think it was amor, but it was like something else.
Yeah. Anyway, and he's basically saying it to like Hermione, because he's like, ha ha ha, we got him. Like,
he's like, I'm scheming so hard right now.
Yeah.
We're killing this game. Like, it's so good. So yeah, I just thought it was kind of random, but at the same time I was like, okay, I mean, he really is going in pretty hard.
For someone who literally said he was confused last episode, he doesn't seem confused this week.
He doesn't seem confused at all.
He's like, very driven.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to destroy Fred Andrews.
I'm going to produce the hell out of this children's like show. And I'm going to I'm going to bring down Fred Andrews. Yeah.
Anyway, so he's excited, and then it cuts to the auditorium, and Veronica is like singing her song, and she was like, my daddy told me never to be nice to people, and like the song I think is called World According to Chris. I don't know. Right. I'm down for all these songs. I'm gonna download all of them tomorrow.
And like it's all about like being a daddy's girl, listening to her dad, being like kind of strong selfish, and not like soft. Yeah,
right.
Like
we know
just
this
typical Veronica.
And Kevin's like, you're amazing. And then Betty's like,
okay, but quickly, right before that, can we just talk about that whole like Chuck Veronica moment? Because there was something there.
Yeah.
One hundo.
What
I don't
was
know.
that?
I don't know if it was edited like that, like awkwardly, but I need to go like rewatch it because the way she
it
was
done
she
on
looking
purpose.
at him at the
A
end.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was like literally like
she does like the and then the
he looked
music
uncomfortable.
freezes.
He was like, oh shit, like I gotta go to the bathroom. Like he looked like that, and I was like, yo, what's going on right now? Like they looked hungry for each other.
Or does it allude to like what happens later, where she was like, I've been watching you this whole time, and you're a good boy.
I thought that
like,
too, but I'm like, no, that was like some sexual shit. Like she was looking at him like, let's go, and he was like, I gotta go now. Like it was very like thirsty. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
There might be something there. I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
I think it's time for a bit of a shift and a shakeup. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised seeing that Chuck Veronica moment. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So she kind of like ends off with like the booty pop, and then
Kevin's like, you're amazing.
Yeah.
And then Betty comes
so hype, and Betty's like, of course you would sing this
hard.
song. This is so you. She's like.
She's like, you are so typecast for this moment. The perfect
like,
spoiled rich girl.
You're literally
check.
the embodiment of Chris. Yeah. And then she's like, spoiled rich girl, check. Major daddy issues, check. Bad to the bone and wanting, yeah.
And then she's
check.
I love that we both knew like,
Veronica's like, like Veronica's getting like shots fired left, right, and center.
Yeah.
She doesn't even respond, I don't think, right?
No,
she doesn't respond.
She kind of just, she doesn't even leave the stage. She just like takes it.
she's like, I gotta go meet Chuck. She's like, I ain't got no time for this.
Absorb this. And then there's a random shot of Fangs, who is adorable. But I was like, why is he just like? There's this random close up shot of him. I was like, he cute, but like, why are we cutting to Fangs right now?
Oh my god, you just sketched me out there. I'm
right
thinking now.
We got to talk about the end of this episode. Okay?
Yeah.
Anyway, so we cut to Jughead, and he's recording Archie and Betty in the stands, and so we see this kind of like side note, like low-key camera footage, and it's Betty and Archie talking about Veronica,
right?
And Archie's basically like, you don't understand what she's going through, and Betty's like, no, she's a snaky bit, and like Archie's just like, you don't get it, you don't understand how hard it could be to like be her right now,
right?
And like,
and the whole time like Jughead's just like lurking.
Yeah.
He's like zoom in, zoom out, like like that 1990s like home video footage. Yeah. He's just like lurking.
And then he basically says that you don't understand how hard it is, like maybe you should like see what it looks like on her side of things. And Archie and Betty have their singing number, so they get up on stage, and he basically says it
so
again.
Cute. It was
song.
Such a cute moment.
He was like, if you could only see my world, or I don't know, whatever.
I don't know what it is about the two of them. Like, I don't know. Like, is it just because like it's Archie and Betty? Like, they're just so cute together.
They are.
Like, there's something about it. I don't know.
You know what? It's so insane that they chose Carrie the Musical to be a part of this show and this episode, and the way things are currently like structured in the show. It's almost like they knew exactly when to place this storyline and where everything was going to go, because these characters really are these characters from Carrie. And like seeing like Archie, who is like the good guy, he's like the good football player, and Betty's the good girl, and like seeing them together, like you have this wholesome feeling when they're singing on stage together.
Is it just the fact that like these teen dramas have all these archetypes? Like they're always
That's true.
There's always gonna be like daddy's rich girl. There's always gonna be the jock who's like tormented between two. Like there's always gonna be those characters, right?
But
so,
it is a fantastic parallel.
I mean,
uncanny.
It was amazing. Yeah, for sure. But like, yeah.
Right. So anyway, he has his number, and she was like, true. She doesn't say that, but like, whatever. And then it cuts to Betty talking to Veronica, and Veronica's like, you know what? I was thinking what you were saying. This is like behind the scenes. And she was like, I agree with you. I've been a really terrible friend. And then Betty's like, no.
Yeah.
It's been my bad. I'm so sorry, boo. Like, she starts singing.
And like, it's funny because Betty's like the one kind of like pulling Veronica in, and Veronica's like acting sad. She's like, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And then like at the end, it's like, it's okay, we're friends now. Like it's so cheesy. I can't.
You're right. This is the moment when I was like, you guys didn't have to sing it.
No.
And it was really extra. But
you know what's missing from that scene? You know what's missing is the closing. Like,
True.
because in the films they show you when like the song finishes and like the scene has to kind of resume.
Yeah.
They didn't show that. Why not? Like, show me the ending of that song.
I want to see the end of the song. So anyway, she gives her like a little spin, and then she like hugs her, and then like Veronica's like, cool, we friends now, cool. It really isn't easy to become friends, because like you guys are really
and honestly, guys, I'm not thirsty for them to be friends that quickly. Like, I'm okay with them having that tension. I feel like that tension's really interesting to watch. You know, like, it's drama.
I think that it's gonna be tension throughout the show, and just the way they are. I'm feeling like, you know, Serena and Blair Gossip Girl vibes, where like they're frenemies, friends, best friends, frenemies, friends. Like, I feel like that's just Veronica and Betty's cycle in the comics, and you see it a lot in the show, where they're such different people, right? Like, at the core of it all, Betty is this wholesome person who like is this, and she's kind of crazy, and Veronica's a little spoiled, but she's also like good-hearted.
Yeah.
They kind of cross over because they're both loving people, and they both love Archie, but beyond that, like, they're very different. So you're gonna see these like parallels and contrasts between these two characters, I think, throughout the rest of the show. So they're gonna have their like fights, they're gonna get back together, then they're gonna hate each other again.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I'm okay with them not being friends for a little longer, because I feel like they bring you back into it really quickly. Like, they're like, no, they're friends now.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, it's okay. Like, let it like simmer for a little bit. Like,
I mean,
it's fine.
why didn't you guys sing about the fact that you basically kicked Veronica off your like playbill? Like, you guys aren't like going up for presidency together anymore. Like, you guys are still like sing about that shit, eh? Like, see if you can figure that out in a song. I don't know. So like, yeah, you're right. I think you're gonna have these issues between the two of them, and it's not gonna be fixed by song, obviously. So we'll see. Then it cuts to Fred and Archie, and they're like fixing up the set, because Fred is like, I'm gonna like donate some of my time to like set up stuff.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have our man's Hiram come through with his like fancy pantsy suit, and he's like, hey, how's everything going up in here?
He's like, I'm producing this show, so I had to come and like see.
And like, did they have to make Fred look that much like crustier beside him? Like,
I know.
Like, Hiram literally comes up in a suit, and Fred is like in flannel. His hair's all disheveled. Like, he's just so like crusty. And anyway, so they show that contrast, and Archie's like obviously stuck in the middle, and Hiram like goes in for the kill, and he's like, so how's the Firebird doing? Like, did you take it for a spin yet? And then Fred has to kind of like low-key lie and be like, oh, no, it's pretty great, whatever, when he really doesn't know anything about the car.
Right.
And then Hiram leaves, and then Fred kind of gets really, really cheesed. Fred
was so cheesed. Like, the look in his eyes, he was like, I was going to get you your first car at the junkyard. We were going to do it together.
I was going to fix up a shit box for you.
Yeah. And Archie's like,
He's like, oh, I like the Firebird though. So the question that I have for you at this moment in time, would you be more team Hiram or Fred?
I mean,
that Firebird though. Is it the right color?
Let's not talk about cars. It's a soft spot for me right now. I'm gonna say probably just stick with your dad. I mean, he's still your dad. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, it's just an awkward situation. Like, it's not like it's like your wife's dad. It's like you're just like in high school, and it's like your girlfriend's dad. Why is he giving you a car? Like, it's really random. Well,
he's like a rich mobster.
I know, but it's just this is your dad, and like, you're gonna have to side with your fam no matter what.
And like, here's my question: is like, when was there a storyline where you guys are gonna fix up a shitbox car? There was never a storyline. Archie could have easily said,
yeah.
Like, Archie could have easily said, like, yo, you never told me about some shitty car.
Right now, because Fred was like, your grandpa and me did our car at the junkyard. Like, we gotta do it together too.
Yeah.
He's like, well, Dad, you're taking too long because I need a car.
It's like, I'm 15 years old. I'm a sophomore. I can go off campus. Like, what am I going to do? Like, yeah, I just think I'm totally team Hiram in this moment, because I'm just like, if someone wants to give me a free car, if someone wants to give my son a free car,
what does it come with? It comes with a lot of other shit too. It's not just a car.
But he's already doing all of that anyway.
It's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Like, Fred could just be like, you know what? Good on him. He's paying for my son's car. Cool. I'll get you guys something else. Like, whatever. We'll go on a trip together.
That's
be like,
true.
Whatever.
That's very true.
Like, Fred's just being like,
he's not that guy. He's like, I want to literally build a car with you. Like, that's like, his goal in life. Like, yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Anyway, whatever. I was totally all about Hiram in this particular moment. I'm gonna throw it to our rewinders. Let us know what you guys think. Are you team Hiram or team Fred? And then And then we cut to the Cooperez, and Alice is trying to call Chick, and she's leaving messages, and he's just not answering. And Betty comes. I
already forgot about Chick. I was like, "Who's she calling?" I'm like, "She's calling Polly." I'm like, "Oh yeah, there's another kid, Chick."
There's like forgot about him that are missing. And Betty's like, "Hey, what's up? I'm your only daughter, and like, why aren't you like talking to me?" And Alice is like, "He's not returning my calls. Like, I don't know what's going on with him. Like, well, you done kicked him out, and you said never come back."
Yeah.
Here, so
like, what did you think was gonna happen?
I don't know what you would have expected out of that moment, but sure, like that's what happened. And so anyway, like Betty feels some type of way, like it cuts to her face, and she's like, I'm gonna have to
poor Betty, honestly, like
she's always being pulled in like the saddest directions. And then it cuts to Kevin and Jughead again, and he's like recording Kevin, and Kevin's like, you know what, I just got another letter. And it says the same thing. He's basically like, listen, no, that's not what the Black Hood says.
He's like, listen, I gotta tell you, he's like cutting all those like letters out. No, but basically he's like, this is your last chance. You need to take out Cheryl and replace her with someone else.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna kill someone.
Or I'm gonna kill someone. And then it cuts to Kevin and Cheryl, and he says, listen, this is more for your safety. I gotta recast.
Yeah, I can't keep you in this role. It's like it's gonna put you in danger. And then she was like, oh hell no. Like,
she's like, no, I
like,
need
no
this shit,
one's
man.
bringing me down right now. She's like, I was born to play this and be on the stage.
She's like, I need to like come through like a phoenix. Yeah. And then Penelope's like, no.
Right at that moment, of course, her bitch ass mother rolls up in the hallway. She's like, well, I just spoke to Principal Weatherby, and he said that you need parental like
agreement or whatever.
Yeah, agreement
permission.
to like permission to like be in a play.
Like,
she's like, and I'm not giving it to you. Yeah.
But also, like, she hasn't been at home, I'm assuming, because like clearly they don't talk to each other. And Cheryl like looks really scared / annoyed at Penelope in this moment. And then Penelope's like, yep, you're not doing it, bye. And she like dips,
literally
from
just
life.
dips.
Like,
she just drops bombs, like that's her job. That's it.
That's her like role in life.
She's so crusty. And I really want to quickly talk about Penelope because I know she's going to come in a little bit later in the episode, but I still just want to talk about, what do you think of what they're doing with her character? Like, that's the thing. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
They gave
and
her
I don't know if I want
moments.
her to die. I don't. Yeah, like they gave her a sliver of a freaking human moment, like a sliver. Like I don't even know from time.
Yeah.
And like that was just gone. It never came back. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know where they're gonna go with her character at this point. Like,
I'm really confused.
And I don't know what I want for her character. Like, obviously now I just want her to die because she's so freaking evil. But I think I obviously want more than that. Like, I want to see her and Cheryl like have a relationship.
Totally.
But it's like, how much more worse is she gonna do to her? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, just like die at this point. I don't know. So then it cuts to the auditorium. And so like, yeah, Cheryl's been cut. And it cuts to the auditorium and everyone's like, okay, well, she's not going to be a part of the show anymore. And Kevin announces that Midge is going to be elected as the understudy for Carrie's role.
Ethel looked so upset.
Ethel's like, the fuck?
She's like, I'm literally the next ginger in line. She's like there's nobody else.
Like, you didn't even like ask me. No. So she's pissed.
What did you think about Midge?
I thought she was random. I was like,
because I was like,
I forgot that you were
you're
on
the
show.
person. Yeah. I just have felt like since that first intro of Midge with like her and Reggie, like they pushed her into the center so much. Randomly too. Like, and it's like, but who is she? Like, we didn't even care about Moose to care about Midge. So like, why are you guys pushing this character onto us so hard?
Right.
And obviously now it's totally obvious to why they did that. Yeah, exactly. But like, even in this moment, I was like, I thought that maybe she had something to do with it. Cause like now she's playing Carrie, you know what I mean?
Right. So then it cuts to Cheryl and Tony, because Tony like went to run after Cheryl, who was like behind the bleachers, and Cheryl's like, I don't know what to do, like I'm so bummed out, like this like really sucks. And she's like, I'm not the same bitch who burned down my house in season 1's finale. Like, I just don't know who I am
cut
anymore.
off her oxygen.
Yeah. And then like Tony's like, no, you got this. You can kill people.
No, you're still that girl. Trust me. Like, go do it.
So like she gets like encouragement from her new girlfriend. And are we officially saying that they're official or no?
I think so.
Is CHONI a thing now?
I think it is. I mean,
if it is, check out our video on CHONI.
They had a kiss. So
yeah,
like,
that's true.
Yeah.
They kiss each other, so they must be going
That's
out.
it. Not a girlfriend and girlfriend.
So then it cuts to Alice and Midge, and Alice has her singing moment.
Right.
And she's singing like, she's singing the song like, don't leave the house,
this was
Carrie.
so intense.
And she's
like, don't leave me because everyone leaves me.
Yeah,
and then Betty's like, yo. Everyone like literally looked at Betty. They're like, yo, your mom's crazy. Betty's like, this is why I didn't want you to come, Mom.
And it didn't help that at the very end, instead of saying Carrie, she's like, my Betty. We're on the same page. Don't leave.
She's like, don't leave me.
Don't leave me. Please
Did
don't
she
go.
get on the floor? Was she like on her
she
knees?
was on the floor.
Yeah,
She was
man.
on her
Like
knees.
she was
She was on her
having
knees.
freaking like emotional like
breakdown.
Everybody's
shouldn't
like,
be laughing.
Betty's like, oh man, like I gotta do this thing too now. Like she's like, how many freaking bombs do I have to like
diffuse? I know.
I can't.
It's so ridiculous. So so she starts crying basically, and Betty's like, oh god, and then she
like runs
leaves.
to her. Yeah.
She's like, don't leave me like all the others. She doesn't like, Alice doesn't even compose herself to be like, Betty, can we talk on the side? She literally yells to all of her classmates. She's like, don't leave me, Betty, like everybody else did. Like, okay. Mom, did you have to air out all of our laundry?
Seriously,
right
jeez, Mom. My friends didn't know my parents were divorced. And that I had a trailer trash brother. And that my sister went to San Francisco with her twins. Nobody knew that.
Why don't you just put it all in the newspaper?
Go for it, Mom.
Gossip column. Oh man. So then it's like,
but what does she say there? Like Alice, she was like, Betty, I'm like going through something. Like, what did she say?
No, in that moment, she just like, don't leave me like how everybody else did.
Yeah.
And then,
but Betty's like, where am I gonna go, Mom? Like, I'm 16, I'm in high school. Like, where the f am I gonna go?
Oh, who knows at this point? So Betty like kind of takes her like off the stage, and like Kevin's like, dude, like what's my life right now? He's like, this whole thing's like falling apart. I don't know what to do anymore. And then it cuts to Betty and Alice having that heart to heart in the hallway, finally like private. And she's like, I'm driving everybody away. I gave my son away when I was a kid. Hal is pissing me for this unspoken thing. And I was like, can you just say it out loud?
Seriously, I'm like, stop saying unspoken and just say it.
I know, it's like done now. The funniest thing is she doesn't even mention Polly. Like Polly got pulled out of the script.
She doesn't mention FP either. Like Loki.
She's like, everybody's left me. Can't even talk about Polly.
And
she's like,
Betty's like, but who, Mom?
Tell me more. And then she like gets sad. She's like, Betty, I'm driving you away too. Like I'm scared. I don't want to be alone. And Betty's like, damn, I really got to fix my mom.
Do you feel like it was a little extra, like her breakdown?
Yeah, because I feel like it kind of came out of nowhere. But then at the same time, if you remember what happened with like the phallus moment, like I guess she's kind of feeling a lot of type of way about how everybody's
she's unstable
like,
right now,
disappointing her, and you know, Chick is gone even though she like told him to leave. Like she's just really emotional, I guess. And I guess in that moment, when you really think about it, FP doesn't seem to be that emotional like rock for her, because like he would have like made her feel better about the fact that Chick isn't there.
Stability,
you know what I mean?
Stability for her is in Hal, 100%. Like FP doesn't offer that. FP is just like this like
he's just hot.
Crazy rock star like love relationship,
right,
you know?
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they're gonna get to a point where like they are stable probably, because like, but they have a lot to learn still. Like FP needs to grow the F up.
Damn,
you know?
you're like a therapist.
Yeah. Like I basically know that.
A couples therapist. So then it cuts to Betty talking to Jug on video, and she's like, yeah, I need to do something for my mom. Like she's like falling apart or whatever. And then it cuts back to the auditorium, and Kevin's super excited because he's like, the playbill's here, like they've gone printed, everybody like look at this, and like Archie flips it over, and it's like it's like funded by Hiram Lodge.
Yeah, his and, face was like, oh. He's like, that's my girlfriend's family.
Well, that's the thing that I don't understand is like he gets freaked out and like they show his face like react to it, but I'm like, you signed up for this.
That's what I mean. It's like, you know this is happening. Exactly.
So why is it news to you now? And then in that moment when he like flips it over, Fred drops off like one prop because like that's all he could do, and Archie's like, Dad, is that you? And
Fred's like, yeah, I finish whatever I start. Okay. I'm like a real man. With my tool belt.
Vote for Fred Andrews.
Yeah.
And then Archie has like an interview with Jughead, and he's like, I'm all types of fucked up right now, okay? Like, he's like, I don't know who to choose. Should I choose my real dad? Should I choose my daddy? Like, I don't know. He's like stuck in the middle. Yeah, he basically is having like a reflective moment.
He just looked so cute this whole episode. I was like in love with him.
I loved his hair in this.
His hair and his jeans. So I was like obsessed.
And his jeans. Such a like specific thing to be obsessed with.
Well, they were tight.
So it cuts to Hiram's study, and Hiram's like, I feel like Hiram's perma sitting there. He's just waiting for Archie to come in.
Hermione glued him to the chair.
He just like spins around and like waits for people to see him, and so Hiram's like sitting there, and then Archie like has a moment, and he's like, you know what? I'll be your bitch for everything else. Yeah. But he's like, don't get between me and my dad. Like, that's his sacred moment. You're gonna lose. Like, the thing is like,
I love that moment though.
Like, you don't know that Hiram, like, is it that obvious that Hiram is getting in between them to Archie? Do you know what I mean?
I mean, because the way he did it was really like tight though. Like, the way he just came up to them and he was like, oh, by the way, the car. Like, yeah,
that's true.
It was a little
like, it was,
and that's
obvious.
What I mean. Like, Archie plays dumb half the time, but then sometimes he's like super smart and like intuitive. He like picked this up. Like
I wrote down, whatever, how is like, Archie smart again? Like, that's literally what I wrote down, because I'm like, how did he pick that up? So anyway, whatever. He picks it up. He gives back the keys to Hiram. So then it cuts to the Cooper res, and Betty and Alice are like getting ready because it's like opening night. And I was like, damn, that was really fast. Like, that was a fast moment. And Betty's like, sweet, let's get ready. And then she like motions somebody at the door, and Hal comes in. Yeah. And with, like, flowers, he comes in with flowers. Cute. And he's like, here do you guys go? And she's like,
Alice is like, cool, thanks, but like, I'm allergic to the ones that you just got me. So
and she was like, you would know that if you were like married to me. Like, how is Hal failing at
so
like
dumb.
All the time?
Like,
I don't understand. So anyway, he basically says, it was kind of a cute moment.
It was cute. Like, it was really cute.
I'd like to come back home if you'll have me.
Yeah. And she was like, okay. And then I love this part because she was like, Betty, can you like get out of here for like a second?
Well, it was funny because she was like, if we do this, there can't be any more secrets. And then she's like, which means I need to tell your dad a secret. Go. Like,
honestly, I was like, you better tell us on camera. Like, we waited long enough. Do not keep us in the dark again. No, like, we have to know. And then she says it.
Of course.
She was like, so chick,
But then we already know this, right? Like, she's basically catching Hal up because Hal is like the last one to know about everything, because we already know that Chick isn't his son.
How do we know that for sure?
I think that she says it last episode, right? Like, when Betty's like, yo, you're not like my brother.
Oh, I think
maybe.
True. Yeah. Because first like, he's not a Blossom.
Yeah, because I also wrote that down. I was like, how are we not seeing this like on camera? But then I was like, true. Like, we already know this story. He's just being caught up on it.
So so she's like, Chick isn't yours. She's like, yeah, I kind of already figured like he wasn't. Like, that's fine.
He was pretty cool with it, but like that's the thing. He was
so cool about it.
It doesn't beg the question why he was being such a d-bag the entire time. Like, if that was his kid, like it just. Hal still sucks. Like, that's the thing. Like, he still sucks as a person in my eyes. So I don't understand why she's like, yeah, come through. Like, we're all good now.
Yeah. So basically, like, they hold hands, and then Alice is like, okay. She like puts her hand on his, and like they're all good. Betty looks so happy, like in the hallway. She's like been
eavesdropping the entire time, and he's like, yeah, our secrets can't hurt us anymore. Like, we're good, right?
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Archie and Fred. And they're at home, and Archie like rolled in like this old school like shit
like
box.
What did it look like? It looked like a farm like tractor or something. I was like, this doesn't look like a car. Like, what is that? Like,
well, it's like those old school ones, right? Like,
but it was like tall, 1920s. Like it was like high up. So I was like,
I think it was like it was like boosted up because there was like probably no wheels on it either.
True.
Like, he's like poor or whatever. Like,
this, like, so he literally went to the junkyard too and like got a car now. Like
how he does these things, I don't understand.
Yeah, like I don't know. He just like picks it up on his way home.
So anyway, he's like, you're gonna be late. Have fun at your like musical, and then he's like left with this like shitbox car. It's like,
honestly though, like this scene, I don't tear up a lot during Riverdale. This one really like got me because I was like, I don't know. It was like maybe Fred's face. He was so freaking proud of him. Like that like Archie like gave up the car and like got this like shitbox. He was like so proud. I don't know. It was just like a really emotional moment. And he was like, wow, like my son did the right thing finally, you know?
Right. But yeah, so then
I think
he's
Luke
like,
Perry's just an amazing actor too. Like you can just like it's on his face, you know.
It's very subtle.
I can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it cuts to everyone getting ready in the back, and then, like they have their like
This was the best.
one of the like such a good number. I loved it.
I loved it.
Everyone's like, I can't wait, and everyone's like singing together.
Tony's like, yes, my boobs are out right now. She's like, yeah, like she has a really good voice too.
And then Moose is like, yeah, let's get laid out here.
Oh, God.
And like
He's
Kevin's
so
like,
extra.
Kevin's like, get out of here.
Yeah, like he's so
Directing the
extra.
show.
And then Midge is like, whatever, you wanted to do that since you were like in grade 7.
Yeah.
Like
then,
again, like they put her in the middle. I was like, but who's Midge? Like realistically, like what is she doing here? She doesn't even have like red hair.
So I'm like, wear your wig. And then it cuts to Cheryl in her like full out like prom dress as
Carrie. Yeah.
And she's walking up to Thistle House.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what is she?
What is she had the bucket.
Do?
So like the blood was in the air.
Right. And then it like quickly cuts to them saying like, this will be a night we'll never forget. And then it cuts to like Penelope and Cheryl inside Thistle House. And like Cheryl's holding like a like candelabra freaking like thing like with the candles in it. And she's like, Penelope's like, who's that?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? And then she's literally covered in freaking blood. Like, she's covered in blood.
So she was claiming that it was Jason's blood, right? And like the dad's blood. Was that like, do you think she's like being for real?
She's being like, what's it called?
Dramatic,
like metaphorical or whatever. She's this is our father's blood. This is Jason's blood. She was like, the blood is on your hands.
Yeah, and like I'm gonna kill you. She's like, I'm basically she's saying, she's like, I'm gonna kill you. Otherwise, give me this house and Nana back because I'm going to take care of my grandma and we're going to live here and you're going to live like where the pigs are because like you're a pig.
You're like a pig person.
But so like, did you believe Penelope in this moment? Like, I was like, but why is she scared of her still though?
Like that's what I mean.
Like all along, she hasn't been scared of her. Yeah,
like
do something drastic that like really scares the shit out of your mom. Like you're just threatening to kill her. Like
you're just holding like candles. Like you're not holding a big knife or anything. Like, it's not like you're.
Well, I guess because it's like the fire, right? Like she's gonna burn the house down again. Because like the money's all in the house, kind of. So it's like, okay, I got you, bitch. I don't know. I wish there was a little bit more danger to that moment.
Yeah, like if she poured gasoline on her or something, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But she didn't. So anyway, she says, I want Thistle House all to myself. Start packing because I'm going to get emancipated, bitches. And then Penelope's
house party. And so there's that moment. Penelope's like scared. Hopefully like this resolves itself because I'm so over this like back and forth situation. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe for the season, like she'll be done kind of, you know.
But anyway, I don't even know what her purpose was in the first place. Like, I don't know. She's been the most.
Well, now she'll have the house to herself at least.
That's true. So then it cuts to backstage again, and everyone's getting ready. And this is a moment that I need to like talk to you about really quickly. I done saw the back of the sheriff turn the corner.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So
he
I'm
was
gonna
there.
keep that eye up.
Yeah.
On that mother effer.
See, that's the thing. Like they've placed certain characters now in the scene, in the sequence, and you can't forget who's lurking back there. Yeah.
So we'll talk about it at the very end again, but I need to even watch that scene again and just like.
And it was a very weird scene because he doesn't even talk. He just walks. You see the back of him. He hits like Kevin on the arm, I think.
Yeah.
And then like he sort of like walks away. He doesn't really do much.
Exactly.
But I think
I see you, Sheriff Keller. I see you.
Right before that, we get that auditorium shot where like Alice is on stage and she's like asking Hal for something. She's like, did you forget the thing?
Yeah.
And then like FP walks in right then. He was like holding something in his hand. I don't know what it was.
Right.
And then he sees like their interaction from like far away and he's like, oh shit. Like
he's like, cheese.
I'm like, yeah, you're an idiot because you're too late now. Again.
You took too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you text her in a phone?
Or like not be so crusty at her when you just like smushed in your trailer. Like what's wrong with you?
Because he's a baby. He's a child. And so then it cuts to Jughead. Anyway, so we're back in the back area. We see everybody hustle and bustle. And Jughead knocks on Ethel's door. And he's like, oh, I'm doing like last interviews. She's not in there. He goes to her garbage and he sees like magazines cut up with like all the letters.
All the letters, yeah.
And he was like, oh, ish. She is like the Black Hood. Like, she's like the one who wrote the letter. And Ethel comes in and she's like, what are you doing in my room? It's not what you think. Like, it's from my vision board. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And that was that moment. And she was like, get out of my room, like you're like obviously like it's not me. And Jughead's like, okay, whatever you say, but I'm watching you. And then it cuts to Veronica, and like everybody's having like a dodo, like a moment, like before they all go on stage.
Yeah, they're like feeling themselves.
Right. And she looks over to Chuck, and she's like, yo, I think I want to bang you. Like, no, she doesn't say that. She doesn't actually
I'm telling you guys, that sexual tension was there.
Sexual tension.
For sure.
Yeah. So she basically like forgives him on behalf of everybody.
She was like, you're like an old Victorian, like, and he's like, bitch, what? He's like, what does that mean though? She's like, you're cool now. You're good.
Yeah, you're cool.
He's like,
you're
oh,
good.
okay, good.
Yeah. And then we see Chick come in, and he's like, hey, Betty.
Yeah, he's like, hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
We're brother and sister.
Like, break a leg.
So weird.
It's so random. So random. So then Betty's like glitching out kind of low key. She was like, what are you doing here? And he was like, I'm not going to miss this. And then she was like, you can't be back here. And
yeah, like go to your seat. Bye.
He's like, okay, bye. And then he leaves.
And then the play starts.
And everyone's getting ready, and Alice has her
Alice's hair
moment. Her hair's like turned the F up. And then the scene, oh my gosh, it still gives me chills thinking about it. So like the curtain rises, and
so she's singing,
and she's like ready to like have it right. She's like Carrie, come out of your closet.
Yeah.
And then like
right before you say that part, I was like, when is this episode done? So just like I just like kind of like hovered over like the time. And I saw, and it was like seconds left. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, if Alice is still singing, like, why is it only seconds left? I'm like, oh my God, something's going to happen right now. Like, it has to end, like, because otherwise, like, what's going to happen?
Right.
Sure enough, cut to
the thing being raised. And then, like, everyone's like, well, like, it cuts to, like, I think
this reaction was weird. Her reaction was weird.
Well, I think everyone was confused.
But,
right?
like, guy, like, why would you, like, what is that?
Because Cheryl's like, she's like, why isn't she in her costume? What's going on?
Kevin,
like, is that a part of the blocking?
Yeah, she's like, you didn't do the blocking? What does that have to do with blocking? This girl's dead on the wall.
So that it shows Midge, and Midge is DEAD. Like, she's dead. There's, like, knives inside of her. And, like, I forget what it read on the wall because I was so shocked at what had happened. But it was basically, like, you're all dead now. And then it said like BH, like the black hood and blood. And then everyone screams, Alice screams, and everyone runs out of the auditorium. And that's the end of
that's it
episode.
Yeah, that was really crazy.
Oh boy.
I'd also like to note quickly, like in between there, guys, right before like all that carnage happens, in the background, like in the back of the stage, we do see Fangs and Midge talking very awkwardly in her dressing room, and
he gives her like, he's like, oh, I'm just giving her some last minute
and
notes.
that I don't forget at that moment, like that was a very awkward moment too, like that one stands out for sure too. So
anyway, before this, so now the episode's done, we have to talk about this final moment. We have to talk about these final scenes because I think that's the most important part of this whole episode. The first question that I have was, they recast Carrie, so why did they still kill Carrie?
That was my question all along.
That was my question.
I'm like, he literally did what you asked him to do, and you still killed her. So like, I don't get it.
So that still leads me to. So now do we want to talk a suspect list, like maybe a short list?
Why not?
I want to go through number 1, Ethel Muggs. Do you think that she's still off this like murder list?
I don't know. I just don't think it makes sense for her to be the killer. Like, why is a 16-year-old girl a killer?
Right. That's true. I don't know, but like fine. At the same time, like
let's say they're a group of people, right? Are you telling me like Sheriff Keller and Ethel Muggs are working together? Like this doesn't make sense to me.
And I'm so why? Over the storyline. Like, what's the reason behind that? I don't know, but I'm trying to remember. You remember that moment where she calls Archie and she was like, "Yo, come, like find me. I'm really scared right now."
Yeah.
Like, what happens in between that time that takes Archie away from?
There's something there for sure. Doing. You're right. There's something there for sure. So she must be connected some way. Yeah.
It would be cool.
And maybe they all are, like Sheriff Keller, Fangs, Ethel, like who knows? Like I feel like it is going to be a group of people that are going to come out.
So the next person that we have to talk about is Fangs, because I don't know what his purpose is, but I definitely think it's really sketchy that he was talking to Midge like moments before she died. For sure. And I think
because like how would they know? Like they just met, kind of, like why are they talking in the dressing room? And like I don't understand. Like I think that like there's like reasons like why
why was Fangs in this episode at all? I don't even know what his job was.
Well,
like,
he's like Kevin's new love
production
interest.
assistant or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like he was placed in this episode for us to like question him. So I don't know if that's like too obvious and like what his reasoning behind it is. But like, yeah, he's
the only reason why I don't think Fangs could be involved is because they did that last time with Kevin's boyfriend. Like he was involved again with like Jason's murder. So it's like, what, you're always gonna have like one Southside Serpent like thing involved? Like that doesn't kind of, it's not really fair, you know?
That's true.
So maybe not.
The next person is obviously Sheriff Keller. We got to talk about Sheriff Keller.
He is 100% guilty. Like I have no doubt he is involved for sure. 100%.
And if you guys haven't checked it out yet, check out our YouTube channel because we did a suspect list from Time that showed what's like Sheriff Keller as one of the main suspects from the get-go. So I still think that he's definitely up there on the list. I don't trust him. I know we saw his like amazing body, but like,
and that back shot of him walking in the backstage, I was like, that's so weird. Like, why are you there? For sure.
And like, I'm sure we're gonna be able to see these like moments again. Like, we won't have to rewatch the episode because I'm sure there's gonna be probably in the next episode, Jughead's gonna have the chance to like go through all the footage that he had.
Ooh,
and like we're gonna be able to see all of it. So like,
like if you notice, like in those moments, like he is holding the camera right there.
Right.
Like Sheriff Keller was walking right in front of the camera. So like, that's true. That's gonna come up.
The question that I have, so I have a couple questions. The main question that I have is, if someone knows, if the Black Hood knows that like someone's recording this, is he trying to get caught or is he just stupid?
Maybe like Midge found something out and like they had to kill her or something, you know?
Yeah, that's possible. The other thing that I have to so the very last suspect, and this is a bit of a reach too, is Chick. And just because we were talking about him,
true,
and he shows up randomly, and then when
he's
Betty's
backstage,
like, go back to your seat, he's like, okay.
Oh, like see, like that's the thing. That there's a reason why they put all these random ass characters backstage, because now you're thinking about it. Yeah,
exactly.
For sure.
But the final question that I have is,
and Hal. Don't forget Hal because otherwise he wouldn't have been there that night. You know what I mean? Or maybe for Betty. Maybe for Betty he would have. Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely still see Hal being a part of this whole situation. But the real question that I have is, whoever is the Black Hood is actually a freaking psycho, because the way Midge was murdered, that's freaking disgusting. Brutal, man.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't a joke. Like, that's not like Fred getting shot at a diner. That was hanging up a 16-year-old girl with knives and like writing things in blood. Like, that's
it was messed up.
That's psychotic. That's like a maniac. So if it really is Sheriff Keller, like, I'm getting shivers thinking about it, because if it is a character that we know really well, I'm freaking out. Like, I want to know.
I'm freaking out.
I'm freaking out, guys.
I think it has to be someone that we know, just because I feel like.
But who would be that big of a cold-blooded killer? You know what I mean? Like, that's really intense.
Wow. So they already tried to kill Midge one time in the car.
Yeah. So I don't know. But then the question that I'm having too is like, so one of the other theories that I had was, when it said recast Cheryl, does that mean that someone was saying like, if you don't recast her, then it won't be as like, I was wondering if Cheryl had a connection to the Black Hood because she's now not a part of the story, but still someone got killed. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, does that make any sense to you?
I don't
like
know.
she was removed from the story, so that doesn't mean that he's not going to kill someone else.
Maybe the letter and the Black Hood have nothing to do with each other. Like, maybe Ethel really was writing the letters, but like signing it off as the BH. And like at the same time, the BH like literally just killed Midge, because like she was an original target, right? Like,
right.
For doing Jingle Jangle.
I don't know.
So I feel like those could be two different things, right?
Yeah.
Like Ethel writing the letter and then like getting murdered is two different things.
Anyway, R.I.P. Midge. What a brutal way to die. Like, that was pretty sad and like really upsetting, kind of, actually. But she dead. I only felt some type of way about it because of the way she died, not so much about like Midge being dead. Do you know what I mean? Because she was so random.
It was just a brutal way of like how they showed it too, and everyone saw it. Like, that's the thing.
Everyone
like,
got to see it. Yeah, it was.
Cheryl's
so
like,
gross.
"Oh my god, what the hell?" Like, it was so messed up.
She's like, I just scared my mom, but this is next level.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's get into our recap roundups.
Recap roundups.
Best moment.
My best moment was the Betty and Veronica sing off. Like where they're like divided in half, and like Betty has like the good girl moment and with Archie, and then Veronica has a bad girl moment with Chuck, because number one, I love to see like their contrast in that, but also I loved all of them dancing and singing. Like I was so down for like seeing them dance and sing. It was so cute, and like I was feeling Chuck's moves. Like so down for it.
It's so funny. My best moment was Archie's dancing because it made me so happy. Yeah, like it was he just looked like he was having so much fun, and he was so cute.
Totally. I loved it.
WTF moment.
What was your WTF moment?
I mean, my WTF moment is at the end, like freaking seeing Midge hanging on the freaking wall. Like it was crazy.
That's like extreme. If there's anything about this show that like really freaks me out, it's the endings. Like why they gotta be so extreme? Because that was
and it's so easy to forget this girl's literally 16 years old.
Yeah. Like, and that's the thing. If we get to the end of this season and it all doesn't make sense, and this is like a reason, like a murder for no reason just to shock us, I'm gonna be pissed, guys. So make sure you guys do the ending right for this season, because like that's a really brutal way for someone to go, and to write that into the story, you better have a good reason why you did it, you know?
For sure.
MVP.
My MVP is gonna be Betty and Archie together. Like both of them, I think they both came through in like their own storylines. BARCHIE for sure. I mean, I ship it like pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
I think Betty. I think people love to like call her crazy, but guys, she literally held everyone together this episode. Like,
it's true.
Without her, everyone would be like a train wreck. Yeah. So she comes through for everyone, and like she has to keep everyone together. So definitely my MVP. And Archie just my MVP because in the end he did come through for his father, and he was so effing cute in those jeans and his dancing. Like I loved watching him this episode, and
My MVP is just Archie. Betty was cool, but I loved Archie, and like, you know, every episode I feel like he's getting smarter and smarter, and he's becoming more likable again. I think we had a moment where Archie was being really, really stupid, so stupid that we ended up making a video on the top 5 dumbest moments of Archie Andrews. But you know, I think these past couple episodes he's really pulled through, and I think it's cool to see him like see the light kind of and understand like what he's doing, and you know, like I hope he turns it around and like really makes it a good finale for all of us.
LVP.
LVP is gonna have to go to my man FP Jones, because he sucked hard, man. He sucked hard this episode. I was so let down by him. Like he didn't come through at all for Alice. Nothing.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I hated him.
Oh damn, that's a strong word. I was just disappointed in him. I think that he should try a little bit harder, but at the same time I get it.
Yeah, like he gave up so easily, you know, like even at the end when she's like, are you gonna come? He's like, well, I'm busy. Like try harder. Like you're a 45-year-old man now. Like
grow
fix
up.
your
That's
mistakes.
What I mean. Grow up as a child. That's the problem. My LVP is actually a child. It's Moose.
Yeah. Why?
And the reason why it's Moose is because, first of all, I still hate him for like leading Kevin on, and number 2, I think that like he should have watched his woman. Like where the hell were you this time?
He's definitely an extra character. Like he's
an extra character.
Like, he doesn't know where he belongs.
Yeah.
I don't think they know where he belongs. And like,
do you think that he's a suspect at all? No, he got shot, so he's not.
Yeah, I was saying that too. I'm like, no, he literally got shot. So I don't.
But
know.
he was angry. He was like, "Move out of my way, doghead."
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Sketchy, weird,
true,
interesting. I don't know. Question mark. But yeah, he was my LVP because I was like, your woman died, and like, where were you this whole time?
The best line.
What was your best line?
My best line's gonna go to Alice when she walks into Pops, and I was so excited. I'm like, I'm gonna get the scene that I want, and she's like, "What's up, handsome?" And I'm like, I had a couple of best lines, but that one made me smile. Like I was like so happy, and then he was so crusty, and I was like, "Wow, way to kill the moment."
It was like the opposite. My best line is a part of that same scene, but it's her being super disappointed and says, I was afraid all this time of our kids making our mistakes, but we're just making them all over again. Yeah. And I was just like, damn, that's a phallus true moment. You know? Seriously. She's feeling some type of way about this relationship right now.
Yep. Who isn't right now?
True story. So guys, that is the episode.
That was crazy.
It was
I can't wait to
crazy.
watch it again, like you were saying, because I feel like it was so lit and there was so many things in my face. So I really want to sit back and really
Up
like
in my
soak
face.
it in. You know what I mean? Like enjoy Archie's
totally.
dancing one more time.
Yeah, I know. Seriously. So one of the things that we have to do really quickly is go back to our Twitter, because we came to Twitter and asked about everybody's thoughts on the episode. The first one we have is from Crafty Katie, and she says, "So nuts, LOL. First off, poor Midge, what a terrible way to die, and all the songs
Poor
were
Midge.
poor Midge, and all the songs were lit, but what the F, Hallen FP, LOL, his face in the auditorium, and Alice seems to be forgetting a secret in the no secrets. All in all, wow episode."
True. There is one little secret, and that's FP's wiener.
That's so true.
It's so true. She
That's a good
didn't even
point.
she didn't allude to it. Nothing. Like
She
that's,
didn't say
yeah,
it. She
no.
kept her mouth shut.
Yeah. She was like, "I want to hit that after."
It's so true.
Yeah, no, that's a big one for sure.
Let's see. We have one from hold on. Oh, Katie also says, "My phallus heart is broken right now. We'll see if I'm back to life tomorrow to listen to your recap."
Same, girl. Same. I'm so let down right now.
And we have one from Tina Hoven. She says, "Mostly loved it. My #phallus loving heart is pissed. Sure, Betty was mad at Veronica, but she acted like a bitch before they made up. Finally, Archie was smart and likable."
Yeah.
True points.
Agreed,
on all
Tina.
fronts. Thank you for your guys' comments. Please
Love it,
keep them
guys.
coming at the end of the episodes. We always want to hear what you guys have to say. Finally, I think we have a few announcements, right, MB?
We do have a few announcements. We don't want you guys to forget about our pop socket giveaway, which we're still we're gonna create custom pop sockets, Riverdale themed.
Yes, queen.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter, because we're gonna be releasing like the different images, the different styles that you guys may want. But yeah, so be sure to watch this week's episode. And we want to see the answers in the comments below, right?
Yeah, so the way to enter is you have to subscribe, of course, to the channel. That's a please and thank you. And then you have to comment in one of the videos below, including this one, and answer the question. And this is obviously, it's the best answer wins. There's no right answer, but the best answer wins. The question that we put out there is, if Betty's black wig had a name, what would you name it? That's all you need to answer, and the best answer wins.
Yeah.
And we will draw it's going to be less than a month before the end of the season, so make sure you guys get your ballots in before
guys,
the 22nd, I think,
if you
or
don't
the
know
23rd.
If you don't know what a pop socket is, Google it, because it is the best invention for your phone ever.
Like, completely life-changing. And finally, we have some of the best news that's ever happened to Recap Rewind.
Best news.
In the most recent hip past
We're
history.
pregnant. No, we're just kidding.
Okay.
Just kidding.
No, we actually.
We're not together.
All right, relax.
No, okay. Best news. Best
news is we had the most amazing pleasure to connect with none other than Mark Consuelos, who plays Hiram Lodge on Riverdale, just this past week. We had an amazing conversation with him that we got to record, and we're going to post little segments of it, and then we're going to finally release the entire podcast for you guys. So we're going through that right now. We dropped the first little snippet where he talks about the Carrie Musical episode, because we thought it was important for this episode, obviously. So I hope you guys like that, but just stay tuned, keep checking us out on YouTube, because we're going to be posting up on there. So we're really excited to announce that, because that was a bit of a secret for a bit of time to make sure that it was all going to come through. And
and it was such a good time.
Super big news, yeah.
Such a good interview, guys. I can't wait for you guys to listen to it, because he is such a funny guy.
Yeah,
and
what a great
it
guy.
honestly felt like just talking to one of our friends. We had
Yeah.
some great laughs. So I hope you guys get to stick around and listen to that. It was really, really
Shout
fun.
out, Mark. Hope everything's going well. I hope you guys like the episode. So yeah, that's the end of the recap episode. Like I said, if you guys I don't know how you guys found us, but did you know that Recap Rewind is now on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Facebook. So make sure you check out all the channels to stay connected to join the conversation.
Damn, we're everywhere.
And make sure you like, subscribe, follow, review, and comment to stay engaged with Recap Rewind. And that's the end of it all.
That's it, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.